Hey guys, what's up, it's By Designs, and today I'm going to show you how to make Fortnite renders in Blender. I've been asked a lot, so I decided I may as well make it to help a lot of people out, because it seems a lot of people kind of want this tutorial as it kind of covers the basics of Blender. Before you start anything, you're actually going to want to need to get Blender, so I've got it open here, but first of all, to download it, you have to go to blender.org. I'm just going to type it in now to show you. Once you type in blender.org, it should bring you to its official page, and as you can see, it should have up here the latest version. Just click download, and then follow the installation steps, and when you're finished with that, it will open Blender, or it will have Blender on your computer. So when you do open Blender, it might come up with like a little thing here. Just click general or click off it, and you should be greeted with this. This is our 3D world. I'm going to run through a quick few tools you can use. So first of all, if you press down your mouse button and kind of move it about, you can basically like swivel around. If you scroll in and out, that basically zooms you in and out. If you reach over here and grab this hand, you can basically move around where you're looking. So you basically got a whole kind of 3D world that you can look around. And then obviously over here you have your camera view. So if you click this camera icon, it will bring you into wherever your camera is pointing. It will bring you into that view. On the left here, we have the typical move controls. So just on the default object, you can have a little play around with it. As you can see, you can use this to move it around all the axes. Then you can also use the rotation tool here. This tool resizes things. So as you can see, you can basically resize this. Yeah, so they're basically the normal tools. And then also up here in the top right, you have the different views. So this is the kind of, I don't really know the actual name of this, but this is kind of like the no colors view. This will make it run better, so I recommend using this while posing. This will show you just the colors, and then this final one will show you with the HDRI and the lighting and the render pretty much finished. So guys, once you have got into Blender, we're going to need some Fortnite models because you can't really do anything without any models. So there's a few options. In fact, there's a lot of options. You can definitely port them yourself, but it's time consuming to learn. So what I'd recommend doing is searching up Fortnite model pack, and as you can see, there are tons of options that come up. You can always join a bunch of different Discord servers. I'm in so many of them, and on Grims, I'm in 5th Blender pack. All of these will give you access to really good Blender packs. So yeah, just join those. I'll leave a link to a few good ones in the description, and make sure you join those because yeah, the creators deserve a lot of credit. So this is a good one I recommend by Eli. This one is for Grims. You can join his Discord server from here. Shadows is pretty good. He's got a porting tutorial there, so you can follow that if you're interested. There's a lot of good tutorials. But if you want to say follow Eli's, you can just, I'm gonna pause that. You can always just come to a link, the Google Drive, and then basically go through all the assets he has in there. As you can see, there are loads of things. So I've already got a bunch of models anyway, but this is just for people that want to get models. There's plenty in here. Yes, I definitely recommend using these. So once you've downloaded the models, you're going to want to actually add them into Blender. So the way I like to do this is to go to File and then Append, and then just find your model wherever it is. Mine's here, so it'll probably be in your downloads if you just downloaded it. So find your model. I'm going to pick a model and I'll be back in a second. So just make sure you pick your skin one first so you can see which skin you want to use. And then you can pick up optional things after, like props and guns. Alright guys, so I found my model. I'm going to be using the Kuno Indigo style. So basically double click on it and it should bring up all these options. Just go to object, and then there should be a AO and an MO. These two should have the F and then underscore med, then just a random name. So make sure to select those. It could have lights and stuff in there. You can add those in if you want, but I just add these two and then append them. And then as you can see, a character will appear in this 3D space you have. So you can go into these different modes here and have a look on how the skin looks. So I'm just going to put it on colour mode now to see if the colours are all working. And then as you can see, you should have all your colours here. So I'm going to put it back onto this mode because it makes it run better. But once you've done this, we're going to have to size it. So if you click on the bones, which are these black lines, you've got the bones and you've got the mesh, this is the bones. And then on this right bit, come over to this like yellow, orangey kind of object, square thing here. And then when it comes to scale, make sure it's on 0.01, so 0.010. So if it's on anything else, just change it. Sometimes the models will be a bit weird and have the scale on just 1. In that case, just work around that and just make it normal. Just kind of resize it to what looks best. So once you've sized it, now we're going to add a weapon. Because it's kind of weird not having a weapon. You don't have to use a weapon. There are always like plenty of props you can use, but I just want to use a simple weapon because I'm using a simple pose. So when you find a weapon, it's basically the same thing as when you import the skin. So let's say I wanted to import. Let's say I wanted to import the scar. You just click on it again, go to object. As you can see in this one, they're actually a camera and a light, just to get the ammo this time, because you don't really need the bones. The bones will still appear, but like you don't really need them. But anyway, once you've done this, we're actually gonna link these two together, the arms, the hands, and the arms with the gun. So just click on the yellow bones to make sure they go yellow, and then come up to this top corner here on object mode. And change this to pose mode, and when you do that, it should make them all go different colours. So you have white bones and green bones and occasionally red bones. Mine should look all different to yours because I edited them in my preferences, but for you they should just be all different colours. And then the reason you know you're in pose mode is because you won't be able to click the over the objects around you. Only be able to click these bones here. So what we're going to do is choose which arm you want the scar to be on. So I'm going to want it to be on the right hand. So I'm just going to select the bone on the shoulder here. And as you can see, it kind of brings up, if you're on this mode, the moving mode, it should bring up this kind of screen. And then if you bring it onto the rotation one, it should bring up this kind of like circle around it. So what I like to do is just go up here to global and change it to local. And it kind of it makes the axes kind of not on the world but on the actual bone, which is really helpful. So what I like to do is move this at like a 90 degrees angle. So as you can see, move it like that, and basically have it straight out. So I'll move this out a little bit, and then I'll move the elbow bone, and basically rotate all these different sliders. So as you can see, there's a red one for going up, there's a green one for going from like this angle. So yeah, just basically move these around and try and get this arm as straight as possible. So like this, so that you can basically fit the scar in there in a second. So once you've got this as straight as possible, just click on the pose mode and go back to object mode, and then grab the scar, so select the bones for it, and then we're going to change a few things. So first of all, put the scale onto 0.01, so it's all the right scale. That's the scale everything in Fortnite should be. And then change the rotations so that it's basically lying on its side and it will fit into this arm here. So I'm just going to go do that now. I like to put this one on 90. This one on this one on 90. And then move this one. Go into the mover tool, and basically move the scar so it fits in the character's hand. So as you can see here, I'm just going to move it about. You might have to change the rotation of it, but yeah, so basically get it so it looks like it's fitting inside these hands here. I'm going to change this up a little bit. So yeah, once you've got this so it's positioned pretty much in the hand, go back to the bones of the character and click pose mode again. And now I'll come over to these hand bones and basically just pose these so they're basically gripping around the hand. So I'm not really going to go too much into depth for this because I might make a posing tutorial later on. But yeah, you can basically just figure this out yourself. Obviously, practice makes perfect, and if you learn it yourself, you'll know what to do next time you do it. So yeah, I'm just going to go through this and I'll be back to you when I finish posing. Alright guys, so once you have posed the fingers around the gun, the next step is to actually kind of bind them together. So just click onto object mode and then click the scars mesh, and then come down here to this kind of like cog thing down here. When you've got the mesh, it should be blue, and it should say add object constraint, and then click the add that, and then click the child of, and then when you come to the target, select the AO for the skin, so it would be this one, and then on bone, do whatever bone you want to bind it to. So for me, it's going to be the hand, so I'm going to put hand, and then select the right one, and then click clear inverse and set inverse, and what this will do is bring it back to its original position. So now, if we go into the pose mode, as you can see, it basically binds it to the skin, basically, and this is really going to be really easy for posing. So obviously you don't really want the arm like this, so just select the arm and click Alt R, Alt G, and that basically just puts it all back into the right positions. And now we're ready to start posing, but first of all we have to add a camera. So to add a camera, come up here to add and click camera, and this will bring a camera on, and then you can basically use the move tools to select it around, and then if you want to, you go into this camera option up here, toggle camera view, and it will bring you into the camera view here. So a little tip that a lot of people use, and also a lot of people actually don't know about, is if you bring open this little slider over here and go to view, you can click lock camera to view, and if you bring that back now, if you basically move around like normal, it will basically move the camera to wherever you want it to be. So this is really, really easy now for posing. Yeah, I can basically pose this really well without much effort. Normally we'd have to go into this option here and move it all around, but this is so much easier. And then when you finish putting it, you can just click it off, so you don't accidentally move the camera around. That'll be a bit annoying. So yeah, once we've done that, we're going to start posing. Now I'm not actually going to show you how to pose in this. I'm sure if you take some time you can figure out yourself. But yeah, I'm going to do a quick simple pose, nothing too special, and I'll be back to you when I'm finished that. Alright guys, so as you can see, I've pretty much finished my posing here. This is just a pretty standard pose. And you might have just seen a little thing I did there. So for the camera, if I wanted to have this kind of like blackness here so I can actually see what the render will actually look like, you just come over to the camera option, go to viewport display, and then on the passport out, just basically change the opacity. You can have it really dark or really kind of light. It's up to you really. I like to have it like this just so I can see exactly what the render will look like. Alright guys, so now we're going to add lighting. Alright guys, so the first step of adding lighting is adding a HDRI. Now you can actually learn how to do your own lighting without using a HDRI, but I think HDRIs are the easiest option. So first of all, change your render engine to cycles. I use cycles. But cycles are my favourite. So yeah, once you've changed it to cycles, we're going to actually want to download a HDRI. Alright, so go to your browser and search up HDRI Haven, just that, and click on this link here. It should be the first one. As you can see, you'll be greeted with this website. So to find HDRIs, click on this HDRI option up there, and there's loads of them here. They all fit certain themes, but the best ones I like to use are Liftwood Field, Approaching Storm, and Venice Sunset. So I'm going to use Approaching Storm for this one because it's nice, balanced lighting. So just search it up in the search bar, and it should come up here. Now you can come down here, and I'd definitely recommend getting the 4K version because, well, it's the best one. These ones tend to be a bit weird, so I'd definitely recommend getting the 4K. Once you downloaded that, come back to Blender. Make sure you're on cycles as you're rendering. Make sure you got that supply. Make sure you've got that. Make sure you're on the render option, and then click add, and then environment texture, and then drag it here, and then drag the color, bring it to color here, and then click open, and open the one you just downloaded. Now I already have, but for you, and as you can see, it should load in. It should go purple or pinky before you bring it. Afterwards, as you can see, the HDRI is in. So now I'm going to show you how to add some basic lighting because it's pretty bleak lighting right now. So the first thing we're going to do is click add, and then click light, and then click sun. As you can see, it should add a sun in. Go to the orange box here, and on the Z location, change that to 3. And then on the rotation, change it from 30 to 45. I like 30. And then as you can already see, adding a bit of a sun. You can come here over to the little light bulb, and now you can edit it. So I would recommend going for like a 5 on the strength. It's already adding some shadows and make it look quite bright. Now, if you want to make this softer, you can change the angle from like 15 to 20 to all the way up to 45. It's always depending on how soft you want the lighting to be. So I'm going to go for 25 because I feel like that's really soft and I like that kind of lighting. And now we're going to add backlights. Now this lighting isn't going to be super in depth because I'm making another tutorial on that, but this is just going to be basic for what I quickly do. So I just add a light, rotate it so it's basically facing behind the character, resize it up a little bit like that, and then using this resize tool here, grab the red one and then make it so it's quite thin like that. Then now if you look into renders, we're gonna have to change the settings of it, but it should add, as you can see here, quite a nice glow and quite a nice little bit of light behind the character. So now you can mess around the lighting and add different lights, but this is okay for me now. So what I'm going to do is first of all, click on this like camera button here, and go down to come down here to color management, and as you can see, you can come to look, and you can change how contrasted the look is. So I like to go for like medium low on this one because it's not going to be a very dark image, but you can obviously change that to how you want it to be. And also on this like pictures, like stack of pictures, and as you can see, make sure you've always got denoising, and this is a separate one I downloaded, AL denoiser, but if you don't have that, then just click denoising, it's fine. So yeah, once you've done all that, you should be okay. You can also do any extra things you want to do, but when you want it to turn, first of all, make sure you save it so you don't lose anything, and then click render, and then click render image. Now what this will do is render out what the camera is seeing. These orange boxes should go through it. So I'm just going to leave this running, and I'll be back to you when. Alright guys, so when this is finished rendering out, all these things up here should have gone, and you should have your image fully rendered out, as you can see here. Make sure you've also enabled film and transparent, because yeah, that can make it so it's not actually transparent. But yeah, when you're finished, click image, and then click save as, and then basically you can just save it wherever you want to in your documents. How you make Fortnite. To drop a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I'm going to be dropping a lot more helpful tutorials soon, because yeah, this one was really well requested, so if there's any more that are well requested, I'll definitely do them. But anyway, yeah, I'll see you in the video.